RVBN, the Rich Video Blog Network, home to weekly NFL predictions, great personality profiles, great professional wrestling video blogs, great sports video blogs, great MBTA video blogs, great top 10 list of everything and anything video blogs, plus a whole lot more. Collection of my work goes back to June of 2014 on various social media websites. RVBN, the only video blog on the internet that matters. Time now is 5:06 in the afternoon in Billerica, Massachusetts on Saturday, June 3rd, 2017. And it's a sunny day out right now, about 65, some clouds. From time to time looked like it was going to be some numerous rain showers, but not, so it's pretty good. Tomorrow's more of the same, but Monday through Wednesday, lots and lots of rain. Temperatures could be struggling to get out of the 50s. Improvement for Thursday and Friday looks like it's going to be about average temperatures, not the 80 degrees as some weather stations in New England have said. They're probably being a little bit too optimistic. Some news to report on the RVBN Newswire. New York Yankees outfielder Jacoby Ellsbury has been shut down until he sees a neurologist. Jacoby Ellsbury hasn't been playing since May 24th due to a concussion, and he's suffering from headaches. Hopefully, Jacoby's going to be okay. Hopefully, he does not have post-concussion syndrome, because that's not good. And prayers to WWE and WCW Hall of Famer and 8-time NWA World Champion Harley Race. Harley Race fell down and he broke both of his legs. So prayers to Harley in his recovery. And that's about it on news from the RVBN Newswire. Be back in a flash with my second video blog subject today, which will be about Black Saturday, which happened on July 14th, 1984, when Georgia Championship Wrestling was replaced by WWE on Superstation TBS 605 Eastern. But first, hear this. Boom! Magic. RVBN. Time now's 5:08 in the afternoon, Billerica, Massachusetts. I'm back. My second video blog subject today for Saturday, June 3rd, 2017 is about Black Saturday. Black Saturday happened on July 14th, 1984 at 6:05 p.m. Eastern for World Championship Wrestling on Superstation WTBS. For many years, that World Championship Wrestling was the stars of Georgia Championship Wrestling, an NWA affiliate. And the viewers of TBS were so surprised that Freddie Miller, who was one of the ring announcers for World Championship Wrestling and Georgia Championship Wrestling, announced that Vince McMahon and the WWE are taking over the World Championship Wrestling time slot. Background on how Black Saturday happened. Georgia Championship Wrestling was one of the strongest NWA regional territories for many years. They promoted in Georgia, and the head promoters and the owners were Ole Anderson, Jim Barnett, Paul Jones, not the wrestler, and Jack and Jerry Briscoe. And Georgia Championship Wrestling had a time slot on Superstation WTBS at 6:05 Eastern, and it had it on WTBS going back to 1972 when it was WTCL, which was rebranded as WTBS in the late 1970s, which went into many cable homes across the United States. And calling Georgia Championship Wrestling was the dean of wrestling announcers, Gordon Soley. No question about it. He's so sudden into a nice souffle. Georgia Championship Wrestling program was renamed World Championship Wrestling around late 1981, 1982 because it was going around the country, and Georgia Championship Wrestling kind of sounded too regional, so for a nationwide audience, so they went World Championship Wrestling. And all the big stars were on World Championship Wrestling during this time period, including the stars of Georgia Championship Wrestling. Georgia Championship Wrestling basically promoted around Georgia, but in 1983, with them being on Superstation TBS, they were expanding into new markets, including Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Baltimore, and Detroit. And even though they were successful in expanding those markets, some of the owners of Georgia Championship Wrestling were not getting too much money from them expanding into new areas, and they were very, very worried. And also around this time, Vince McMahon Jr. bought the WWE off of his father, Vince Sr., and Vince Jr. wanted to go nationwide. His territory was based in New York, that covered New York, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Boston, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh. In 1983, Vince got time on the USA Network, buying a time slot from Southwestern Championship Wrestling, and he started All American Wrestling, which was a clip show from the syndicated programs WWE Championship Wrestling and WWE All-Star Wrestling, plus some highlights from Madison Square Garden, the Spectrum in Philadelphia, and the Capitol Center. And he, for the first few months of All-American Wrestling, he showed other wrestlers from other regional territories, but that stopped in early 1984. Vince, for the continuation of national expansion of the WWE, felt that the WWE needed a second cable outlet, and the only major cable outlet which was in more homes than the USA Network during this time period was TBS. At first, Vince McMahon tried to buy this Georgia Championship Wrestling time slot off of Ted Turner, who owned WTBS, but he said absolutely, positively no. But Vince had another plan. He heard that some of the owners of Georgia Championship Wrestling was getting very mad, including Paul Jones and Jim Barnett and Jack and Jerry Briscoe over Ole Anderson because of payoffs. And Ole Anderson heard that the other owners of Georgia Championship Wrestling were going to sell to Vince McMahon, but Ole talked to a lawyer saying that everything will be okay. They can't do that to you. But Ole was proven wrong. When Vince got the money, he bought Jim Barnett, Paul Jones, and Jack and Jerry Briscoe out. They sold Georgia Championship Wrestling to Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon owned Georgia Championship Wrestling, and Ole got furious. A couple of times when Vince came to Atlanta with Gorilla Monsoon, he met Ole Anderson and offered Ole Anderson a job, but Ole Anderson said, "Go to F in hell." He also gave him the middle finger. Ole Anderson never worked for the WWE at all, period, and he's never ever going into the WWE Hall of Fame at all. You're more likely to see me date Julie Broughton from News 6 than Ole Anderson going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Anyway, on July 14th, 1984, 6:05 in the evening on Superstation TBS, it was Black Saturday, when the viewers of WTBS saw Freddie Miller, who was the announcer of Georgia Championship Wrestling, hand over the microphone to Vince McMahon from the WWE, and Vince McMahon says they were going to bring the best wrestling action to TBS. instead of the Southern Wrestling that Georgia Championship Wrestling showed, which was more athletic ability, the WWE version of World Championship Wrestling showed recycled matches from the WWE syndicated shows and from their house shows, which got a lot of loyal WTBS fans pissed off. And there was also another thing that was missing from Georgia Championship Wrestling, the World Championship Wrestling. The Dean of Wrestling Announcers, Gordon Soley. Legend had it, Gordon either quit or was terminated when the deal with the other owners of Georgia Championship Wrestling sold to Vince McMahon. And Gordon Soley probably would have never posted World Championship Wrestling calling WWE matches because he had Florida and he had Continental, and if he probably would have to give that up, even though Vince would probably offer him more money, he probably did not want to be involved with sports entertainment. But if he got so much money, he would have probably did it. And there were so many viewers complaining to WTBS studios that WTBS decided to air wrestling at 7:35 in the morning, a new group called Championship Wrestling from Georgia, which they showed original matches on the TBS studios at Technowood Drive, hosted by Gordon Soley. It was ran by Ole Anderson, and also part of the WTBS WWE deal for World Championship Wrestling, that it was promised that Vince McMahon would produce original matches from the TBS Techwood Drive studios, but that never happened. They continued to show recycled WWE matches for months upon months upon months, and the ratings for that got downward. Ted Turner was in a bind. He wanted to get out of the contract because Vince McMahon reneged on the deal. So he had Mid-South Wrestling on Sunday afternoon on TBS, which got better ratings than World Championship Wrestling with the WWE. He was negotiating to Mid-South to get the 6:05 p.m. time slot, but there was another plan. Vince McMahon decided to sell that TBS 6:05 p.m. time slot to Mid-Atlantic Wrestling and Jim Crockett Promotions, which was getting very, very big with the success of Starrcade 1983-1984. Vince sold it to Jim Crockett for $1 million. Vince said to Jim he would choke on that million, but when Vince McMahon got the $1 million, that funded WrestleMania 1, and the experiment with Georgia WCW and WWE programming on TBS was over, and it was a disaster to say the least ratings-wise. But Vince made out pretty good. He funded WrestleMania 1 with that with selling the time slot to Jim Crockett. But the loser of all of this was Bill Watts, who thought he would go national with that TBS time slot, but he didn't. He went national about a year later when he rebranded Mid-South Wrestling to UWF, but that was too little too late, because when he expanded it nationwide, his area in the Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas area was hit with the oil crisis. Mid-South Wrestling, UWF, was bought out by Jim Crockett in 1987, and eventually that caused Jim Crockett Promotions to go down, and they sold to Ted Turner because they had the matches on TBS in November of 1988, and then the last major NWA promotion started to be rebranded as WCW, and WCW lasted for about 13 years until Vince McMahon bought it in March of 2001. So this thing, what goes around comes around, and the Black Saturday on WTBS was kind of the first filing shots of a of a promotional war. And that's about it on that. I'll be back later. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Google Plus with my third and final video of the night, which will be about the top 10 sports draft pick busts in the NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, and NBA. Keep calm, everybody. I'm a Julie Bennett guy. Molly Rose Blood, WCCO, Access, Nice Legs, Elizabeth Hutz, so stunning, she's best. Amy Sweezy's awesome, awesome Amy. Lynn Church of WPIX channel of New York, such a racking Cougars, get the best leg in New York City. Bar Nan Bob gives of ABC 11, has switched out the next accent, best leg New Orleans, North Carolina. And Lisa Bell of News 6 is awesome.